the actual when like defenders.
I think it's like
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
Are you lot not entertained, people? Are you lot not entertained? We called for Arsenal to make waves in the transfer market. You called for, activity. And it just seems like in the last 24 to 48 hours in particular, us Arsenal fans or us Arsenal content creators, can't get a break. And I'm sure you Arsenal fans, big up everyone that keeps typing Arsenal in on Google in an attempt to see if this Declan Rice thing and all the other transfers are going to get over the line. Now, where Arsenal are concerned, as you can see in front of me, 10 minutes ago, David Ornstein has said Arsenal and Thomas Partey's reps working on a potential exit. Now, there was initially tentative links with Partey leaving. First, it was to Italy. In the last few days, Saudi Arabia. It seemed like probably them websites on page 10 on Google and all of that. Now the David Ornsteins and them kind of people are reporting on it. If it was up to me, Partey and Xhaka don't leave. If Arteta's got a plan, the man's got a plan, and he's going to have to deal with it. I just feel going into the Champions League, our first choice pivot, we can, bring in a Declan, bring in a whoever, and gradually move away from both players. But I think while think we need a radical rebuild in midfield, which we're doing, I think we need to naturally demote these guys to rotation options, squad options, or better yet, if Granit Xhaka and Partey were to start the first Premier League game of the season, come 38 games, game week 38, we've moved away from that. Thomas Partey is 30 years of age, contracted until 2025 and on big money. Now, I'm sure Arsenal are not forcing him out the door, but if an opportunity became available to, get his wages off the wage bill, where, probably only going to Saudi Arabia is going to be the case, and maybe they don't want to give him a new deal in the same way that for all the previous talk about a new deal for Granit Xhaka, for example, the Ornsteins and the Fabrizios came and said that there's been no offer of a new deal for Xhaka, contracted till next summer with an option. Where Granit Xhaka, El Nene, Jorginho, Thomas Partey, all concerned, they're all on the wrong side of 30. It doesn't mean we need to sell them. A player that a lot of us would love at Arsenal, Gundogan, is of that realm. But Arsenal need to shift away from that. And I personally feel only Saudi Arabia, because of what they're doing and the players they're trying to poach, even Ruben Neves going over there, Partey is probably the only opportunity to potentially break even on the 45 million quid that we spent activating his release clause and potentially making a profit. So we'll have to see, really. But a midfielder would have to come in addition to whatever's going on with Lavia and Rice, in my opinion. And maybe Granit might even stay, although probably still going Leverkusen when there's movement in terms of incomings. But enough waffling. Arsenal and Thomas Partey's reps are both working on a potential exit solutions for the midfielder. There is interest in the 30-year-old from clubs in Saudi Arabia, and Arsenal will consider their options if a suitable opportunity arises for sale. Now, that's probably, in an ideal world, I'm sure Arsenal wouldn't get rid of Partey this summer. The same goes for potentially Balogun, and the same goes for Charlie Patino, probably Granit Xhaka, and indirectly Kieran Tierney. But, not everyone can be, a first-team regular. Teams are always changing. Game time is in an abundance because there's a lot of games to play in all the comps, but it's also scarce in that you can't just give game time for the sake of it. So I'm sure Arsenal are open to sales of a lot of players, and it could be a means to an end. In an ideal world, we're going to spend just over 200 odd million quid. If you were to spend 100 million on Declan Rice, 50 odd million, maybe more on Lavia. You hear we're trying to get this Timber guy from Ajax. We bidded 30 million. They want around 50. Maybe that's done for the similar fee Partey came into the club. So I have to see. The situation is not believed to be advancing rapidly. And if Partey, whose contract runs until 2025, was to leave the Emirates, then a replacement would be needed in addition to Arsenal's pursuit of Declan Rice and probably Lavia or Kai Havertz, who can play in midfield as well. The Athletic reported on Tuesday that Arsenal had seen a second offer for Declan Rice rejected, which, big up to everyone who's watched my previous video, you would have known already. Fabrizio Romano has said, people, on the 18th of June, 2 days ago, understand there's concrete chance for Partey to leave Arsenal this summer. Clubs are interested and there are discussions about his exit. Current contract expiring, apologies, in June 2025, and no talks to extend as of today. Arsenal's priority remains Declan Rice. And he then said negotiations will follow in the next days between Partey's camp and clubs in Europe / Saudi Arabia. So is that the Italian clubs? Is that clubs in Spain or wherever? He has a concrete chance to leave this summer, as revealed on Sunday. Now, people can change their mind. You could love your job and wake up tomorrow and think, I want to try a new experience. But having got into the Champions League, Partey clearly loves the lifestyle of London, living in London, playing for Arsenal. The Hims, the Xhakas, and anyone else who's departed, maybe it's been in the back of their mind from a few months before. I don't think these are snap decisions. And to be fair, if it says clubs, not club, there has to, as much as there might be interest from Saudi Arabia to sign quality players, maybe his agents indirectly fielded calls and let the word out to clubs in and around Europe and other continents that Partey could be available. He said, key point for Arsenal, Partey's potential exit is not linked with Xhaka or Declan Rice. Xhaka and Arsenal agreed terms with Leverkusen, waiting for new midfielders to join. Lovely S on the end of midfielder to join. Then he's expected to leave. Arsenal to go for 2 midfielders if Partey leaves, which is a bit of a hypocritical thing based on what we've seen previously. Arsenal will return with a third bid for Declan Rice after seeing their second offer worth 90 million rejected by West Ham, who are holding out for at least 100 million. Arsenal are set to return with a third offer for West Ham's Declan Rice. The Gunners saw their latest bid worth 90 million rejected by West Ham. Their opening offer was snubbed by the Hammers, who rejected payment setup. So clearly they want more of the money up front and less in terms of add-ons. We've had a 90 million pound bid rejected. We're returning allegedly with a new offer. Hopefully it's of a suitable standard. It's believed to be, as revealed on Tuesday, the Gunners' new bid, believed to be worth 75 million in guaranteed cash with an extra 15 in add-ons, has been turned down as the Hammers continue to hold out for 100 million. Well-placed sources had indicated an expectation that Arsenal's second offer would be worth a minimum 90 million plus further related incentives, pushing the deal closer to 100 million. However, the Gunners' latest offer has fallen short of Hammers chairman David Sullivan's valuation. Arsenal make a third offer for the England international, having seen their original bid worth 80 million turned down earlier this month. It has been indicated to Mail Sport that Arsenal are willing to meet Rice's 100 million pound valuation. Their next offer will be closer to that mark. Rice wants to join Arsenal and remains hopeful he'll be a Gunners player by the end of the month. Personal terms well in excess of 200 grand per week will be formally sealed quickly once West Ham and Arsenal agree a fee. We apparently have made a fresh approach to Chelsea over an improved 60 million pound offer to obtain Kai Havertz as well. Allegedly, with the Blues, we're in advanced talks and a new package is understood to be worth a guaranteed 55 million plus an extra 5 million in add-ons, and that has been verbally communicated to Chelsea. So it hasn't been put in writing. So we have to see. And obviously for him, we've had a bid turned down. We want to wrap up a deal quickly for Kai Havertz. And at this point, we'll be going over the same things, people, that I'm sure you lot have seen already. Once again, we'll bid again for Declan Rice. Apparently, again, I'm not glorifying any in the nose or disrespecting them, but I mean, this team news antics seems to be kind of bang on. He said Arsenal's offer for Rice was way too many installments. He's now on holiday and he doesn't expect this deal to be done in July. Arsenal are in a very strong position as Rice has made it clear he wants to move to the Emirates ahead of anywhere else, and no other club has made a serious attempt to sign the England international. Arsenal are set to return with another bid. So West Ham are hoping to entertain offers from other clubs. Right now, we've been the only one that's put it in writing. The structure of the payment will be crucial, says Romano, to get the Rice deal done. Arsenal have been informed of that. West Ham also want easy add-ons and won't accept a structure with difficult ones, as today's 15 million, allegedly that was the bulk of the other money in relation to Declan Rice. Second offer has been turned down, but it won't be the last one. So there is encouragement, folks. So we'll have to see. Apparently, Arteta, courtesy of Miguel Delaney, Arteta wants 200 million pounds worth of business done before the summer tour, with the club aiming to sign Havertz, Rice, Timber and Lavia. Some recruit through sales. Arsenal are prepared to listen to offers on a few players, including actually Eddie Nketiah. Dharma Sheffer said negotiations over Declan Rice continue after a bid worth 90 million was rejected. Told Arsenal have shown they're serious after club record bid and remain hopeful of a positive resolution. I and all the other fans. Ryan Taylor of the Express on Lavia earlier today said talks are positive on personal terms between the Belgian midfielder and Arsenal, but Southampton's 45 million pound valuation is considered steep by Arsenal and others, including Chelsea, despite the fact that they had a 50 million pound and some say 55 million pound bid rejected last summer. Naturally, Southampton have been relegated. Arsenal and other clubs are going to try and use that to drive the price down, and on the fact that Lavia, having been given a taste of it in his first and what could be only season at Southampton in the Premier League, you don't really want to play in the Championship. This in the know said Arsenal hopeful that their second bid worth 100 million for Rice will be accepted, which is clearly WAS people. And he's just reiterated the fact that West Ham ultimately want a closer to 100 million. Goal.com has said West Ham are holding out for a bigger fee for Rice, who has developed into one of the best midfielders in the league. Fair enough, people. And it's talked about the fact that he does have an option of another year in his deal. So it's not really shedding any light. Once again, we know we have an interest in Lavia. Regardless, we know that Declan Rice has been linked with City, people. So it doesn't appear that there's anything. Earlier today, while we saw in the early hours of last night that we've bidded for Timber of Ajax in an offer worth 30 million, it's been rejected, and we're told that he's got a price tag of 50 million, people. And once again, 90 Minute has said we've held talks with Southampton over Lavia, but again, people, no bid on paper has been placed. So the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment and subscribe. One love.
There's always just that attitude when like defenders.
I think it's like